Hello, group. So in the Practice by Design coaching call today, we talked about electronic health record selection. That was part of what we chatted about, and one of the things we talked about was this idea of like how do you pick, especially when there's like comparable EHRs that have similar features and maybe there's some nuanced differences. Like how do you pick? Which one is going to be the best for you. And one of the things we talked about was this idea of non-negotiables that or deal breakers. So when I was searching for an EHR, I kind of made a list of like, I think these things are deal breakers for me. Like, I definitely want to have an included video platform. I want that to be part of the system. I don't want to have to do that separately. I want to make sure that it has calendar sync. I want to, there's a few things that I really felt like these are deal breakers for me. There were other things where I felt like, oh, I could go either way on that. For example, like automated payment systems. If I have to click a button to get paid or if it just runs on its own, I'm indifferent on that. I like the automation of automatic payments, but I don't need it. It doesn't give me like an emotional or a mental load to think about. And so one of the ways I think about this is what mental bandwidth, what emotional mental capacity load is this feature or these features potentially saving me from. So the ability to load last note, to bring the old note up and then just edit it from there, huge energy and time saver, right? The ability to just run a card really quickly, huge energy and time saver. It syncs everything, right? The ability to send any document or note or GFE automatically through the EHR, huge time saver instead of having to like create something new and upload it and then share it or do it by email. So there's these different ways where you could think about like, okay, these are the features of the EHR. How are those connected to the administrative tasks in my business that hold weight in my brain? And you might not always know that going in if you're brand new to private practice. But for me, the more features, the better, generally speaking. And there's going to be some that you'll find to be deal breakers or not. For others, they might be really comfortable using Zoom, and so having an embedded video system isn't necessarily at the top of their list. Now, the other thing that comes up a lot is price, and generally speaking, we're talking about a difference of about $20 or $30 a month, sometimes as much as $50 a month. And so I think it can feel like a lot of money when we're looking at like $49 versus $99. That's a $50 a month difference. But when we calculate out the total savings over the course of a year, it's a few $100s. And so the question is what are you giving up? Depending on which platforms you're looking at, what are you giving up to save a few $100s a year? And if what you're giving up is going to cost you time, energy, mental bandwidth in terms of the features and the automations, then it's going to cost you a lot more than a few $100s a year in time and energy that you could be spending somewhere else. And so when I think about looking at EHR choices or even any system, right? Any system that you use for business, when I think about these decisions, I'm thinking about them from a cost efficiency standpoint, not necessarily cheapness, right? Not cost effective, cheap, cost efficient, good, like features for my money. And when I really look at like, if I'm going to save only like $400 or $500 a year total on a cheaper option that maybe doesn't have quite the same features than I will for something more robust, more feature rich, then I'm definitely like it's gonna cost me one way or the other. And I would rather it cost me a little extra money because I'm gonna build that into my business. I'm gonna build that into my fee structure. I'm gonna build that in because I'll have more energy and time and capacity to do more clinical work or to do more things that can generate income if I outsource by getting an automated system. Okay, that said, you have a lot of options when it comes to your EHRs. And I'll be perfectly upfront. I have affiliate agreements with certain EHRs. I have sponsorship with Jane. It's not Who you go with for your EHR is not what matters to me. I have these because I believe they're great companies and I believe that they're great options for different people. And I'll drop some links to the different places or the different EHRs that I think are good options. But every practice has its own unique needs. If you're an NP, a psych NP, you need prescription capacity. And there are certain EHRs that offer prescription options, and there are some that don't. And so what you choose is going to be dependent on the features that are unique to your practice. SimplePractice has really great features for families and couples in terms of how you do the client management. Others don't. Jane has phenomenal customer service. Like, they are there. A live person is there to talk to you when you need them. And if that's something that's important for you, Jane is a great option. And so it's looking at what are the different options and what are the different features and how is the company run, and does that fit in alignment with my practice. So that said, I think there are some really great EHRs out there. I'm going to drop some links in the comments just so you have some options. There are other options that I don't even know of that aren't on my radar yet. And I love learning about new options because, again, your practice is unique and the EHR that you choose needs to fit your practice. That said, don't get caught up too much in the details. At a certain point, you have to choose. When you're up against that choice, I recommend choosing the top 2 or 3 that are contenders for you. Get a demo with them. Get into the system, use it. Like, run a practice client, run yourself through it like a client. Make sure that you work through the workflows so that you understand how it feels to use the system, and that will ultimately give you the decision that you want that will be right for you. All right, so that's my reflections for today.